What's up? Got a TWOSUN. Yeah. Wonder if it spins a little bit. Hey man, let's get it out of this box. We're gonna check it in, check it out. What we got here? It's not a sealed bag. I don't recognize it off the top of my head. Ooh, careful. Oh, look at the carbon fiber on this thing. I mean, you already know the model number because it's posted on the video. I do not know it. Titanium on the one side, milled. Beautiful. And then carbon fiber on the other. It's like a full carbon fiber slab on the other. It does not look like there's a metal liner on that side. Man, let's get this packaging put away. Then we'll open this thing up and see if we got a model number. If not, I'll look it up so I can talk sensibly about this model. Not that the model number has a lot to do with it, but let's wipe this oil off of here. How about that? Really gaining some functionality back in the hand. Coming along. I know I keep talking about it, but it's there. It is not going anywhere. There it is. Yep, it's getting better. All right, here we go. Let's get this blade out of here. Oh, man, I like this thing. Is there a model number? Bastard's Knives. TS457 and M390 steel. Okay. Yeah, man, is this thing light. Wow. Okay. Bastard's Knife. So I'm assuming, is that a collaboration? I'm not sure. I might have to research that. Do they do other knives? That's my question. Or is it a designer with just this one? The detent on this front flipper is kind of stiff. Yeah. I mean, it's strong. I am flipping this in a very deliberate manner. Like there's no messing around here. It's got great jimping. Runs all the way up this face and then up and over the top. Pretty nice. So this portion here really provides some jimping just for this grip on this backside. Yep. Nice 4-finger grip here. Yeah, I don't see a steel liner on this side. I think it's just the carbon fiber on this side and then the frame lock titanium on this side. Very lightweight knife. Look at this thing. Balanced well, comfortable. So the reason I mentioned this detent is I don't think there's any chance it's stiff enough that I can get this, but I'm going to try. Let's see if I can't get that out of there right there. Yeah, I got it. So dramatic, man. It's like, calm down, bro. Yeah. TS457. M390. Come on. This thing's been sitting on the bench here for a long, hot minute. And I'm going to get in it. Yeah. I mean, listen, at some point you got to get back to work, right? You can't. We can all have excuses to take time off, man. At some point you got to go, yeah, I got to get back at it. Back in the saddle. Now, if I can remember, that'd be a great little tune for nice straight lines in this pocket clip, recessed into this titanium, solid. Be a nice tune for the short, right? It's kind of oily. Kind of oily. Nice racetrack washer. Big bearings. Yep, they big. Big. Yeah, look at all the milling even on this carbon fiber. There it is. Did not want to come out of there. Gave it the old tippy tap. A little tip, just tap it in. Tippy tap. Tappy tappy tap. There we go. All right. Yeah, so look at this chunk of carbon fiber. Really milled. I mean, whew, what's that weigh? Not much. I mean, I'm curious, just that one piece. I'm going to find out. What's this weigh? Yeah, so 0.4 of an ounce. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Super light. And the collar, the pivot is captured in this carbon fiber side. Which, I mean, makes sense. At the end of the day, that captured part, it doesn't really provide strength to the knife. It's just holding the pivot so you can loosen and tighten the actual pivot screw, right? So as long as it holds it, it's going to be able to do what you want it to do. Yeah, it doesn't mess with the integrity of the knife at all. That it's not like securing the pocket clip. If that was recessed into the carbon fiber, I'd have something to say about it. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. It's not the best way to do that, because putting constant pressure on the pocket clip, opening and closing the knife or handling the knife, you could eventually, I mean, it's perceivable that you could waller that out, and then the pocket clip is loose and you can't tighten it. That's not this. A ton of milling here on this titanium. This is light too, but yeah, ton of milling on there. Going to be a bunch of oil under there. Yeah. All right, the little parts. Well, let's get the pocket clip. Nice ramp. Had decent tension, so we'll see. Got confidence. I think that's going to run pretty good. Okay, now the itty bitty parts. Yeah, so my girl was out in Vegas this weekend, wrestling, and did not do well. Yep, 1 and 2, and some tears. Not a great performance, and it's mental. It's interesting how in life, business, relationships, sport, you know, important things are broken down to us on a mental level. Where's our head? That kind of thing. It affects so much, being able to believe in ourselves, to have confidence. One of the recent videos I did was about doing a YouTube channel. I spoke about the channel and my friend, one of the channels, and one of my friend's daughters, Jessica, spoke about her and her desire to be involved in YouTube, and kind of the same conversation. You know, if you want it, you should go for it and believe in yourself and don't be critical and just go forward. And my daughter experienced a lot of that this weekend in her wrestling. And the mental aspect of it is so strong and so prevalent, you know. And especially at the higher levels of any sport, it comes down to two very well-trained, well-conditioned, you know, supported, coached, trained athletes. And in a lot of sports, it comes down to who wants it most. You know, who's mentally prepared to put it out there. And yeah, it bit her this weekend for sure. So she's fighting those battles. In the internal type. Which I guess is part of it, you know. Those things that don't kill you, make you tougher, that type of thing. I think I'm going to take the tiniest little bit off of this, but I'm going to wait until I put it together and get some kind of alignment visually on where this is locking up versus how far it's extending. I don't think it's extending much past where it locks up, so I'm not going to change it right yet. I'm going to put it together and then I will inspect it. It's got an internal stop pin that's riding on this track in the carbon fiber, but it's also got a track in the titanium side, so that's good. It's not just smacking itself right here on that carbon fiber. It's going to catch this this side on the titanium as well. And there we are. Yeah, it didn't feel it doesn't feel very sprung. So I don't think I had much to give there. We'll see. I would like the action to be a little less strong. I mean, if there's some to give, it's the tiniest little bit. And in the end, if I'm to impact this action, I may need to work on the lock bar a little bit so that this can go farther into the knife. We'll see. I'm going to put it back together. It's lubed with my light oil, and we'll see where we're at. The other thing that I can do on this particular knife, because it's a frame lock like that, I can put some tension on that lock and run that back and forth with some pressure on it, which will simulate, you know, I don't know, 6 months worth of use or whatever in a very short amount of time. And maybe the knife breaks in a little bit. All right, well, we're tight here. I think we might be over tight on the pivot. Very locked in. I mean, maybe. Yeah, could be. Really smooth. Yeah, I mean, it's just really strong. I wonder if I can thumb flick it. I don't think there's any chance I can thumb flick this. Yeah, I got it. Again, I'm being dramatic. Let me, so I'm going to work this detent a little bit. I'm going to put some pressure on here, and I'm going to open and close this knife with pressure. So right there, I am pressing down as hard as I can, and I'm closing that blade. And what it's doing is kind of creating a ramp coming up off that blade. Now I'm putting pressure, And I'm going to work that ramp all the way to the detent. Lots of pressure, just pressure down. And so what it does is it simulates a lot of use going back and forth. Locked up, it's really tight, and it's running pretty good. There we go. Okay, I put this stuff up. Let me make sure that pivot didn't come loose. I mean, this thing functions well. Make sure we didn't have any lock failure. I don't know why I didn't adjust it. Should have been good out of the factory, but you know, I don't know. Sometimes you just never know. Look at this blade, man. I mean, this is one that, not the TWOSUN collector in me withstanding, this is one that visually I desire. I like the look of this a lot. This, I mean, the blade, the handle, just the whole thing is a very attractive looking knife to me. I really like the look of this knife. Very lightweight. I wonder what the overall weight of this piece is. 3.7 ounces is what I'm getting on my official DM scale. Yeah, 3.7. Nice. Under 4 ounces. 4-finger grip. I mean, man, I dig this one. So let's talk about the ergonomics. Or not the ergonomics, the action. So, I mean, a little work on it, and it's a couple of little shakes, almost drop shut. I mean, that blade center. I feel like maybe that pivot's coming loose on me. I might have to Loctite it. We'll keep messing with it. And if it feels loose again, then I may put just a dab of Loctite on this knife. Yeah, so I'm going to say a solid B+, maybe an A-, and it's only because it's a little, you have to be intentional to open this knife. Now, the Spidey flick works really good. The thumb flick, I mean, it's working good. I've got a good handhold. It's not as intuitive on the thumb. Like, I have to be intentional to do it. The whole thing, like even this isn't just casual front flipping. If you're not 100% on that front flip, this might be one where you go, yeah, I don't like that thing. I can't get it open. Yeah, B+, A-. It's going to be in that range. Let's talk about ergonomics. So, on the confidence scale, there's not so confident, confident, very confident. I mean, I'm going to come up towards confident. There's enough of a swoop here that I'm able to get a good grip. The knife is short enough that it does dig into my palm when I've got a good firm grip on it. A little bit of jimping, but this here I do feel pretty locked in. If I flip this knife around, this is very confident. This is up in this range here. I can really get a grip on this knife this way. Not so much this. I guess you could do it, but not so much. Yeah. The Spidey flick is on the money, though. It's a good Spidey flick. What about, yeah, and I don't feel that pocket clip either. Let me mention that. I mean, it's flat enough, and everything is knocked down and refined. There's no sharp edges on this knife anywhere. It feels, from that perspective, it's very comfortable in the hand. There's a slight choke up here, but I mean, I'm not a big fan of this right here. I'm not sure why you would go here versus just be here. Does it provide you a little more control up here? Yeah, but, you know, pocket clip. What we got? I think it looks good, but we'll see. It's over the big stuff. Through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Yeah, it run all the way. And, yeah, excellent tension. Like that thing, it's in there. It's in there for a long haul. Yep, same on this thin stuff. This is standard jean size material. Wonderful pocket clip. My spot in the back pocket. Front right of my back pocket. Wonderful. Yeah, and if it's a dryer clip. If I took off on a run, this was back here, and I'm just running. This when I go reaching for this knife, it's going to be right where I left it. Yep. Excellent pocket clip. Safety. Oh, come on, man. Look at this. This blade's just poking its head up right there. See it? See, like if I go right, boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. All right, here we go. I mean, if I'm right here, there's no contact. If I dig my finger down in there, I can just barely touch that corner. So I'm not going to be hard on the knife. I'm going to call this good back here. You got to want to get in there to get it. And, you know, I don't want to ever judge it like, ooh, if I press as hard as I can get it. That's not what I'm looking. If I could just make incidental contact and get it, then I'm calling it. And I'm going to say I'm going to fail it. But on this one, I got to want to dig my finger in there to find it. And I'm just finding the very little tip, tiny little piece right there. I feel it on the end of my finger. Would I cut myself there? I don't think so. The tip. Ooh. Yeah, so there's enough of a rise right there going for that tip that it's pushing my finger up away from it. But, ooh, is that close. So, clip's good, tip's good. And I'm confident that with this backspacer and the blade in there, that I would not make contact with that blade. Final look at this milling on the titanium. Really super fine milling all over this titanium side. Yep, pretty nice stuff. A little bit of grip. You can feel it. It's providing some grip. Wonder if it's sharp. Well, if we had a piece of paper, we could check it. Got this magazine paper, man. It's not quite as thin as a newspaper, but I got future contingencies in mind because eventually I'm going to run out of the phone book paper. Yeah, thing is crazy sharp. Really nice. Look at it. Yeah, I mean, you know, that phone book paper, is it as easy to do this with phone book paper? It is not. And so when you see, you know, guys going, woo, you know, there's a good chance that it's not going to be phone book paper, that it's this kind of paper here. But is it sharp in this paper? Yeah. Am I trying to imply it's not as sharp? No, not really, man. Yeah, knife is sharp, is sharp, is sharp. They did a great job on the edge on this coming out of the factory. All right. Price and availability. Where is it? How much? Okay. eBay's got, pardon me. eBay's got quite a few going, live auctions, and you can pick these up for, $90 to $110 roughly is what I'm seeing on live auctions on eBay. When this first dropped, there was a bunch of these well over $130, but that has settled. Now, White Mountain Knives has them in stock, a colored anodized version that's listed at $150, which with 10% off discount code down below, DM10, you could just buy it straight out, getting in 3 days, the colored version, the anodized version, for around $135. They don't charge tax or shipping, so that would be an all-in price. This sand natural G10 or titanium version, it's listed at $129. So if you take the $13 off of that, that brings you down to, I don't know what, $115, $116, no tax, no shipping for this exact version. If you wanted to buy it now, get it in a couple of days, not deal with, you know, a month-long process of shipping, whatever. So yeah, lots of options for this one still available. And yeah, I mean, I like it. It's actually a carryable knife, I think. Yeah, I like this one a lot. TS457 in M390. Hey, I'm going to wrap up real quick. What's the Bastard's Knives about? Let me check that. I'm going to see. Okay. Bastard Knives. They're out of Spain, and this clearly looks like something that fits into their design portfolio. And their knives typically command, you know, $300 to $600. So pretty cool designs that they have, and the fact that they've collaborated with TWOSUN on this one is pretty neat. I like it. All right, last look. TS457 in M390. Yeah, pretty neat piece right here. All right, appreciate y'all watching.